Hi there. So yesterday we learned about the color groups, and hopefully your paper looks more filled in more correctly than this one. I need you guys to make sure that before you start on the practice side that all of your colors are filled in nice and dark like these over here instead of over here, because we're going to be practicing our burnishing technique. Now, the next step is we have to make a pattern colored in with a color group. If you notice, each one is labeled complementary, primary, secondary, warm, cool, and you choose. You choose means you can choose whatever colors you want. But all the other ones, like secondary, we need to make sure that we use orange, green, and purple for the whole thing. Complementary, you either use orange and blue, or yellow and purple, or red and green. Not all of them, because then you'll end up with a rainbow. So this project's called Colors All About You, and in it we're going to use bubble letters and patterns to create kind of a poster. So today and tomorrow we're going to work together on this to create a sketch. Now what I started with is I just sketched out some ideas. Notice none of these are bubble letters yet. I made this themed off of Steven Universe because it's a show that I really like. I put the initials for Steven Universe right here. If you were going to make a project about yourself, like one time I made one for my sister, Brittany, I put her initials, and her initials are B-E-H, so I put them there, and then I would put 5 words to describe her. So put the name of the thing in any one of these boxes. You don't have to pick primary for the name of the thing or the person that you're describing, but you need to pick one of these, okay? One year I had somebody put it in their You Choose that they really liked Pokemon, and then they put Pokemon in here so they can color it whatever colors they wanted, and then they filled everything else with words that described Pokemon. So as you notice, I wrote all of these letters normally, but they're all very big inside the box, okay? And then what I did is I went on another side and I put bubble letters around them. See how my skeleton letters are still on the inside? And around the edges, I put patterns and designs. So first, make sure your entire paper looks like this. Come up with your words first, and then when you're ready, start adding your bubble letters and your designs, okay? Because we're only going to have 2 days to work with these. Now, here I practice my burnishing technique with the Steven Universe design, and right here I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the warm colors. Notice, on my primary colors I used red, blue, and yellow, and then I used red, yellow, blue. Now, a lot of the colors that I have are really dark, so what I did to get around the burnishing technique with the blue, and you can do this with any color, is if you want to make a light version of a color, what you can do is you can shade in lightly, like you normally would. I think this is a navy. Shade in lightly, and to make it burnish so that it looks more intense, you go over it with a white colored pencil. That way it kind of blends everything together, like this. Okay, and then you can layer it on again if it doesn't look quite how you want it to. So for example, on the love part, I have to use red, orange, and yellow. I've used red already, now I need to get orange and yellow. And I came up with a pattern of the heart, and then I'm going to put yellow and red lines around the edges. However, I don't know if I want my orange to be as intense as it is on this colored pencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in lightly. Shade in lightly over here. Make sure that you don't leave any white spots even if you're shading in lightly. And then I'm going to go over and burnish. When you're burnishing, you don't have to push down super hard on your pencil so that your knuckles get white, but you just need to push down hard enough that all the little circle or all the little white spots get filled in. Then I'm going to go back over it again, and I'm going to turn my paper this time. Turning your paper helps you get rid of some of those white spots. So first time I did up and down, now I'm doing side to side coloring. And I'm still doing this lightly. So if you want to do a light color version of your color, like purple, maybe the purple's too dark, then shade it in lightly and then do a couple of layers with white and the pale purple, and then you end up with a lighter color. So see how this orange is different now? Because if I had just done the burnishing technique with the orange, I would have ended up with something looking like this. But since I did my burnishing technique with the orange right here, see how my burnishing technique is? And then I'm just going to continue with yellow, and I'm just going to keep it yellow and orange. Now with the yellow, I'm just going to do my regular burnishing technique. I'm going to make sure that all of my white spots are filled in. Now, this is a sketch today. So if today you accidentally mess up, remember, this is just a sketch. This is not your final project. You're using this to help you with colors. So this already tells me right here that, okay, I'm going to do love in these kind of colors. And now I'm going to see maybe what I want to do with my complementary colors, the fun. And I think for fun I'm going to do yellow and purple. So I'm going to circle around that so I know which complementary color set. Complementary colors, you should only use two. Two colors, not three, not four, two colors. Some kind of purple, some kind of yellow for yellow and purple. But the cool thing is you don't have to use all the same type. Here I have violet, and I have the raspberry color, and I have yellow. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do the word fun in yellow, and I'll do the outline of it in violet. Maybe I might not even use the raspberry. Maybe I don't want to use the raspberry now that I'm looking at this. That's the nice thing when you do sketches. You find out, that doesn't look quite as good as I thought it would. That's the reason why we do sketches, because then you can come up with ideas and get everything how you want it before you actually start on the final piece of paper. Sketching helps us stop from having to restart again. Now I'm trying really hard to make sure that I go in and I burnish. I'm practicing this technique. So I want you to practice this when you're sketching. Now we only have 2 days for this, so if you don't get this whole back side of the paper colored in, that's fine. If you didn't get the front side of the paper filled in, then I need you to finish that before you start this, because that's actually for a grade. Now, see, I have the word fun. And then I'm going to go in with the yellow, burnish over that. Now if I want this middle line to go away, I don't want it to show up. See how there's that middle line right there with the letter F? Then I take an eraser over here and I erase over it. And I realized once I erased, my line disappeared between the two, so I'm going to put that back there with the colored pencil purple. And then I'm going to color over it again. So this is how you do the sketch for today. Remember, start with your whole page filled in with words to describe something or someone you love. Make sure you put the name or the initials of the thing or the person that you love in at least one of the boxes. And then pick 5 other words that you can use to describe that thing or person. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you get all your words figured out first before you even start coloring. When you start doing your sketches, don't even color then. Come up with your designs in the background, because you're going to have to use all 3 colors, and it will look way more interesting if you come up with patterns and designs in the background behind your word than if you just wrote the plain old word by itself. If you need help coming up with how to do your bubble letters, remember you're subscribed to that JuniorTube playlist where I show you how to make them. You can look up your own bubble letter lists online, and you can also look up patterns that you like as well. If you have any questions, make sure to raise your hand, okay? All right, I'll see you around.